Hey, this is part 2 of the Creepy Villain MMA show. I'm your host, Creepy Uncle Nick, with Dylan the Villain.
Dylan the sexy villain, I'm thinking now.
Alright, now we're going to do the sexy villain. We're going to do the main card of the UFC 134 in Rio. This is a huge card.
Yes. This is the first time, or the second time they're going back to Brazil for a UFC event. The first time was like back when there was no rules or no time limit on weight classes.
Yep, and this is the birthplace of the UFC.
Yes. I think it's sold out too.
Oh yeah, and this is going to be a fantastic fight. Starting with the main event, which is Anderson Silva, who is 28-4 with wins over everybody. He's beaten Vitor Chael, Damian Maia, Forrest Griffin,
Franklin twice.
Yes.
Dan Henderson, Chris Weedon.
He hasn't lost since January 20th in 2006. Yes. But of course, that loss was to his opponent, Yushin the Thunderbolt Okami,
who is 26-5,
27-5,
27-5, and has wins over Nathan Marquardt, Mark Munoz, Jason McDonald, Mike Swick, Alan Belcher, and Anderson Silva, as you can see right there. He also has losses to Rich Franklin, Chael Sonnen, and he has a loss to Jake Shields in the Rumble of the Rock.
This is going to be a, you know what, this is in Brazil, and I think Anderson Silva is going to be jacked for this fight.
Yes.
I don't think it's going to be a boring fight like he has against Talis Latis and Patrick O'Tay and the stupid, yeah, I don't even know what he did against Damian Maia, but yeah, and then he took the last round off. He was like, I'm done fighting. He's on a 14-fight win streak. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you don't see that usually.
And by far, my vote for pound best fighter ever.
Yes.
Yushin Okami does have what it takes to beat him. He's a strong wrestler, but his stand-up lacks. And the Japanese, I don't want to sound like a douche here, but the Japanese aren't really known for having the best fighters in the history of the world, especially up at the higher weights. And Yushin Okami is the best they have, and he's pretty good. But we'll see. I don't think his chin's going to be up to the task, and I think it's going to be a short night for Yushin.
Yes. I will have to say, Chael Sonnen gave Anderson Silva the hardest time. Yushin Okami reminds me a lot of Chael Sonnen. He's great at wrestling, so I could see them possibly coming out, but I'm definitely picking Anderson Silva with a finish. And another point, they had a fight. Yushin Okami won by disqualification. Anderson Silva kicked him in the face when Anderson was on their back.
Yeah.
So he got disqualified. Another thing is, I'm picking Anderson because both of them have fought Nate Marquardt. Yushin couldn't finish Marquardt. Anderson finished Marquardt in the first or second round.
I don't believe in the MMA mathematics like that. Yes. I believe in that Spider Silva's a badass. And although I'm not a huge fan of his, I'll probably be rooting against him. But I don't see it happening. I don't see Okami making it. If he makes it to the third round, I'll be impressed.
Yeah, Okami, they say his best attributes is
strength and wrestling.
Yes.
He's a strong dude.
And, yeah, he's probably one of the strongest in middleweight. I also heard he's the second best in the clinch when he's in the clinch, but
let's go against the best.
Yeah. So who are you going on that with?
I put Silva.
Okay.
He makes it to the third round, and it's going to be by TKO or KO.
I 100% agree.
All right. This
next
co-main event is Mauricio Shogun Hua, who is 19-5, was once considered the best 205er in the world in Pride. He's got wins over Machida, Liddell, Mark Coleman in a freaking bloodbath, and Alistair Overeem. He's got losses to Johnny Boner Jones and Forrest Griffin, and he's got a controversial loss to Machida. He will be going against my man, Forrest Gump Griffin.
Looking very sexy. Who is 18-6. His wins, last two wins were over Tito Ortiz and Rich Franklin, which I thought he looked great against Franklin.
Yeah, overpowered.
Yeah. Had a great win over Rampage. Has a win over Shogun where he rear naked choked him. Has two wins over Stephan Bonner. And has a win over Chael Sonnen by first round triangle choke. I see Chael not really good with the triangle chokes lately. Well, he has losses to Anderson Silva, which was embarrassing.
Yeah, he got lost by a jam.
Yes, and Rashad Evans, I was upset when he lost that
Which
one
was
too.
also embarrassing because even though he says, "Oh, my arms are just frailing or flailing," he was tapping.
Yes.
I don't care what you say, he was tapping.
Yes. And as lost Tito Ortiz, but that was counting.
Mike, I'm going to go on a little Shogun rant here. I don't think he's as good as what everybody makes him out to be. I think he's got serious stamina issues. He gassed against Mark Coleman, and old Mark Coleman, who looked like crap when he gassed against him. He gassed against Forrest the first time. He gassed against Johnny Bones Jones here. He beat
the first round.
Yeah, he beat Chuck Liddell with no chin. Yes. That's the only thing that he did is he had no chin. He looked good in both the Machida fights. I will give him that, but I do not think that he's as good as what people make him out to be. He is good, but he's not. He got a name off of Pride, and he fought a bunch of competition in Pride. A lot of Japanese fighters who, again, I don't like the dog on Japanese fighters, but the upper Japanese guys aren't that good. Alistair Overeem is good and stuff like that, but man, I don't think. What the heck is going on? I'm blurry. Hold on. Where's the auto adjust? Alright, but I just don't think he's that good.
Forrest, if you see on our Facebook page, Forrest, he said he's
I'm gonna try something really quick.
he was unmotivated by he said basically the UFC for him is not fun fighting anymore. It's basically just a job. I'm not liking that.
Sounds like Matt Hamill.
Yes, and you see where he is now. But I think Forrest has a lot of heart, and that'll get you a lot of places. I don't hate Shogun. It's just his fights in there have just been not impressive, just gassing.
I'm not impressed by his performance.
Exactly. So I am going with Forrest by decision. Who are you going with?
You and I think a lot alike. I'm going with Forrest by decision, only because. And I think he could possibly finish him, even though Forrest isn't really the best finisher in the history of the world, but I think he could, because stamina is going to be an issue.
Yes. Yeah. I've never seen Forrest really.
Alright, and the next one, it is my man, Brandon Schaub.
Hybrid Schaub.
Yes, who is 9-1, with wins over Krokop, Gonzaga, Chris Tusher. He lost to Roy Nelson in the Ultimate Fighter finale. And he'll be going against my man. I don't want to train with gay people. Big Nog,
who is 32-6-1, and has a lot of wins. Not too many in the UFC, but he has wins over Randy Couture, Tim Fatty Sylvia. In Pride he has he has 3 wins over Keith Haring. Surprisingly.
Yeah, that one in the UFC though, you got lucky on.
Yeah. He has one over Josh Barnett, Fabricio Verdun, Dan Henderson, and Krokop. He also has losses to Dan Henderson, Fedor Emelianenko, Frank Mir, which he got outstruck in that one. And he lost to Cain Velasquez
by knockout. And guess what, guys? It's going to happen again this time. Brendan Schaub is going to be faster than him, and he's going to land one of the big, powerful punches to his now old and fading chin that used to be rock solid, Nogueira. That is my prediction. I think Schaub is definitely young, and he's got a lot of learning to do. But I think his I think he's going to do it. I think Nog is basically a stepping stone. He looked good in 2 fights in the UFC so far against old Randy Couture and fat Tim Sylvia, who is.
I see where you're coming from. Nogueira, I believe, will win this fight by submission. Brandon Schaub hasn't been tested on the ground. All his fights have been stand-ups. And Big Nog has been saying over and over in a lot of interviews I've been watching how it doesn't matter who it is. If he fights anybody in Brazil, he's going balls to the walls. I really think this is going to be a motivating factor in this fight. So that's why I'm going with Big Nog. And
the ground game, I think, is going to be a big hit.
Yes.
Nog managed to pull it down, because Schaub decided to be stupid and take him down. Now, also, Big Nog is supposed to have boxing, like great boxing, but I just don't see it.
Yes. So I'm going with Big Nog. He's going to Schaub.
All right, and the next fight, it is my man,
wait for this one.
tough winner, Ross Pearson, as you can see with his ears a-flailing, getting bashed by Dennis Sliver, who is 14-4. He's got wins over Spencer Fisher and Dennis Seaver and Aaron Riley. He's got a loss to Cole Miller, which is really weird to me for some reason. He beats Dennis Seaver, but he loses to Cole Miller. And he'll be going against
Edson Barbosa, who is 8-0. As you can see him high kicking Anthony Njokwani, which he won, which was a great fight, possibly a fight of the year candidate, stand-up Muay Thai clinic. And he has no losses, so I can't tell you who he's lost against. But this will be his second fight in the UFC. I think this will be fight of the night for sure. People have been saying how Edson Barbosa is going to be a top guy, kind of like Charles Oliveira, kind of like Johnny Jones. And they say how he could be champion. I know that's what Low Kick was saying, but they also thought Stephen Struve was going to be champion in 5 years. So I don't know how they're thinking, but I am going with Edson because Ross Pearson, all he has is a stand-up. British people don't have wrestling, and his ground game hasn't. Yeah, and sorry, Hardy, but yes, and Ross Pearson I haven't really seen anything out of his jiu-jitsu game, and I'm being stereotypical again. Edson Barbosa is from Brazil, so he has to have some jiu-jitsu. So I'm going with Barbosa.
And Barbosa's stand-up is really good, and I agree. I do like Ross Pearson. He's been in some awesome fights, and he's got heavy hands, man. He can do it, but I just don't see it happening. This fight here, this next fight, I don't really know why it's on the main card. I think the Spike TV, there's better fights on it. Louise Kane, who is 12-3 with 1 no contest with wins over Elliot Marshall, Steve Cantwell, and Sokaju, with losses to Little Nog and Cyril Diabate. And he will be going against my man.
Stanislav Nedko, who is 11-0
and has an impressive package.
I like it a lot. He has no significant losses. All I could find was he has wins over Kevin Randleman, who's and Travis Hugh. Yeah. My main thing in this fight, Stanislav or whatever has fought he hasn't fought in 2011, and has fought only once in 2010, and only fought twice in 2009. That's a long, that could help a fighter or that could be bad. I'm going with this going to be bad for the ring rust, and Louis Kane can stand up decent. So I'm going with a TKO with Louis Kane.
This is kind of a hard fight for me because I really don't know that much about that.
Yeah. They seem like
Stanislav, yeah, and I'm not super impressed with Louise Kane. I'm just gonna go with Stanislav Nedgov because it's fun to say. Why can't I say that? Say his name. Jeez, Stanislav. This is what's screwing me up. But I really don't know. I'm just going with it because it sounds funny and he's very handsome and I like his package. So. The only reason why I'm talking about this is because I don't really want to roll with Nog either.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big news. I've been saying how I love Uriah and all, and I finally met him.
Oh yeah.
I got his autograph. Me and him basically became best friends. He's like, man, we should really hang out sometime, and I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think so. That's right. And I also met Dana White, and he's a big fan of our show. He told me that, and he sent my
seen every episode.
Yep, I got a picture taken with him, except for my phone ran out of memory.
So yeah.
And Dylan's like, I ain't gonna take a picture with my phone. I don't want that shit on there.
So Dana White was basically embarrassed by us.
Yeah.
We love you, Dana.
Yeah, and that was an awesome time that we had. Go to Octagon Nation.
Yes.
Hey, visit us on Facebook. We love discussing any topic. Doesn't matter what it is, and we're always pretty respectful of the fighters. We like to give some hard times, but really, check us out on YouTube. Leave comments.
Yeah, absolutely. Unity Fight Gear. If you want to sponsor us, please let us wear your stuff for free. I don't even care.
Combat Corner. Any of those places would be outstanding. You know what? I don't care. Just sponsor us.
Yes.
We deserve it. All right. Peace out, Humpy.